Yesterday in my newspaper column in the Sunday papers, I highlighted the growing insanity of closing down coal-fired power stations when there's no reliable alternative supply. And the fact that the Albanese government is planning to bring the same emissions obsession that's given us some of the world's highest power prices to other sectors of the economy, like housing, like farming, meaning the food on your table, and like transport, is a real worry. These so-called sectoral plans, so emission-specific plans for each industry sector, hence the sectoral term, well, they're now being drawn up by the Climate Change Authority as part of the government's ambition to announce yet more emissions reductions for 2035 on top of the 43% they've already legislated for 2030. So that means smaller herds and higher meat prices. It means bans on gas cooktops and heaters. It means forcing people to swap to expensive electric cars or use public transport only. And the cost of these policies is finally becoming clearer. 10 days ago, a group of experts, NetZero Australia, well, they've estimated that the cost of getting to a 43% reduction by 2030, as I said, already legislated, will cost us $1.5 trillion. That's trillion with a T, not billion. And these are experts from Melbourne Uni, Queensland University and Princeton in the US. Now, $1.5 trillion is 2/3 of our annual GDP. And this report says we need to find that in order to achieve, as I said, these legislative targets due in just 7 years' time. And that's assuming, too, that it's actually feasible to build all the renewable energy required and all those extra transmission lines to get this decentralised intermittent power around to where we need it. Now, forget for a moment that Labor's 83% renewable energy target makes scant provision for backup for when the wind doesn't blow, of course, and the sun doesn't shine, but we still need power 24/7. Not only is this climate crusade ruinously expensive, but it's also going to be mission impossible. Australians might be broadly in favour of cutting emissions to do something about climate change, but it's far from clear that we're ready to pay all the extra costs, and it's certain that more and more people are unhappy about what this means for them in practice. We need somewhere between 10 to 28,000 kilometres of these new transmission lines. Towers, some of them up to 80 metres tall, as high as the pylons on the Sydney Harbour Bridge, all built through national parklands or across prime agricultural land for Labor's green dream to work. And as we'll hear a little later on the show, Australian farmers, well, they're not going to cop it, despite some of the bribes being offered up to $200,000 per kilometre for individual landholders. Now, that's one of the reasons why the Hume link, just one of these new transmission lines, is way behind schedule and already $3 billion over budget. But without these new transmission lines, Hume Link in particular, well, Snowy 2.0, already years behind schedule and billions over budget, well, it just won't work. Now, I've been saying this for years, you've been saying it as well. This is energy madness. And why on earth are we spending billions and billions of dollars in borrowed money just to take us back to the dark ages? It beggars belief.